Hello, my wonderful friends. It's me, and it's time for a continuation of a story from a friend of our channel. I said that weirdly, but a friend from a very good friend, and it's from our friend Adadism, but mostly Ada, who I missed. I didn't know what happened to you, dude, and I'm glad to see that you're back. I'm glad to see that we get some more of, this whole spiraling tale. And let's get right into it, shall we? Hello, readers. Redx, Moonhorse, that's me. I've made my triumphant return to finally regale you with the tales of my time dealing with ResistBeard. First off, I am so sorry for the frustratingly long wait. I went on spring break, forgot about writing this when I got back, kept putting it off when I remembered. On top of that, I built a new PC, got addicted to Half-Life Alyx, VR chat, and all the games I could finally play. Then finals came along, and studying took priority. Then after that, I just lost motivation for a while. I know, excuses. Most of the wait was my own fault, and for that I apologize. No, it's totally fine, I do that all the time. I have about 30 different ideas that I was supposed to be writing 3 years ago. Yeah, I don't procrastinate. What? Also, hey Redx. I hope things have been going well. I've been on and off watching your channel. I hope your family's doing alright. Also, I'm really sorry I kept sliding into your DM saying, hey, chapter will drop tomorrow, and then lo and behold, didn't post it the next day. I kept wanting to make some edits or small changes in the writing, and just got out of hand. My writing might have suffered from the long break I took, so if my grammar and English have any mistakes, I apologize. Not to mention all the edits I made might clash. This entire chapter feels like a disaster. Honestly, I just want to get it out there because I know if I wait any longer, I'll end up being another month. If the writing is lackluster, I'm sorry. I'm sure it's fantastic and you don't have to worry about a thing. Honestly, the definitive version of the story, Redx's commentary adds so much. Oh, I see how it is. Okay. Fine. I guess we don't have to read it. I'm kidding, we're totally going to read this. I mentioned once the Beard Storm was over, I'd link my socials, namely Twitch and YouTube. Well, Storm's over, and here are the socials. We're not going to put those in the video, obviously, but as an aside, I just want to put this out there. I've seen some of your streams. I don't usually watch a lot of streams, but when I do get a chance and I'm able to sit around and do stuff, sometimes I'll put them on in the background while I'm, editing. So, and I may not have said anything because a lot of times I don't show up in chats, and that goes for all of you. If you've linked some of your stuff on my channel, there's a good possibility I've probably been in the chat of one of your streams. I just probably didn't say anything. My content's in a transitional period at the moment, past the robot phase it was in during the time this story took place, and on hiatus while moving towards something greater. I'd love it if you dropped by or dropped a follow, but ultimately it's your choice. I can't tell you what to do, I just please ask that you don't come specifically for RB or his friends. That's actually, don't harass people, even if they are assholes, just, it's not cool. They aren't there anymore, they're gone. Good. My staff and I went through quite a lot to wipe any traces of his greasy self from the community, and it's a touchy subject for most of us. Totally understandable. We would rather move on. Hell, some of us have. A handful of staff members have left the team. The stress from RB and his friends' harassment weighed down on all of us. It's an automatic kick for mentioning him, mainly because his friends still occasionally join the Discord via alts and try to harass us further. Oh, they sound like a bunch of douchebags. That's cool. Before I get into the story, I just want to warn everyone that this is truly where things go off the deep end. The blackmail was only scratching the surface. If you want to nope out, I totally understand. Warnings for this chapter are blackmail and light transphobia. Oh, so I'm going to get really angry. Well, thank you for letting me know. I'll prepare the pitchforks. I don't know what possessed me into not getting the hell away from RB after the events had unfolded. Maybe it was just some sick curiosity? I don't know. In hindsight, I should have just resisted the beard. I see what you did there. Okay. So, let's go through the cast. I usually don't do these too much in videos, but because it's been such, a while since we actually got back to this one, I want to refresh everybody's memory. So, OP, Dizzy, Ada, whatever you want to call me. I'm a 20-year-old trans woman, standing about 5'11", 6'1" was wrong, just measured a week ago. Skinny as a stick, former avid Ingress player, and possibly a little too nice. I'm also a content creator. That ties into this story heavily. Say that you make things. Don't use their word. Content's such a gross word. I know I've used it. God, I hate YouTube. Taz, a friend of mine that I've known since high school, and who works at the same place as me. There's an inside joke in my friend group that the two of us are dating since we spend so much time hanging out together. We kind of started playing along with it for kicks. Is not an Ingress player at this part of the story, but later starts. Scissors, one of the three who had taken me under their wing to teach me about streaming. She's a huge Fire Emblem fan, and used to join me on my Fire Emblem Friday streams. I only know the name of that game. I'm so old. She sent me a FE 3 Houses blanket that has been quite a lot of use during the year that I've had it. The blanket isn't important to the story, I just think it's cool. I apologize for my mini ramble. Nah, it's fine, dude. Embrace your nerdiness. That's what I do. God, I have so many Gundam models, you have no idea. RB, short for ResistBeard. The dreaded beard of the story. Flabby, creepy, checking nearly all of the boxes of the common neckbeard, aside from the fact that he goes outside. Oh, they do sometimes go outside. That's how we know they exist. RB had been the bane of my existence for about 2 or 3 months. Surprisingly, he owns a home. That is a surprise, actually. RB's friends. Isaac, kind of an edgelord sometimes, but sort of self-aware about it. I'm not sure if the things that seem self-aware were intentional or accidental. Played a Dark Elf rogue with a folk hero background, but subverted it slightly by having their character be reluctant about adventuring. Oh, right, the D&D thing. I was going to be... I'm sorry, I was a little thrown for a second there. Jack, never really good read on him. He just seemed to agree with RB blindly. Played a halfling paladin with a background I can't recall. Well, he must have been very interesting. Allie, actually quite pleasant and not as beardy as RB's other friends. Honestly, it seemed like they were just dragged along. In fact, I soon learned the truth behind their friendship, quote-unquote, with RB. Things were not initially what they seemed. They played a Tabaxi ranger with a soldier background who used to be the head guard of town. I don't know why I totally spaced on how to say the word Tabaxi for a second. I just stared at it and was like, those aren't sounds. I'm alright. How you guys doing? Section 1. A Mask of Innocence. Ooh. Last time saw RB follow me into Half-Life 2 deathmatch servers, and lie to the other players about dating me. Oh yes, I remember that. However, that was nothing compared to the absolute batshit crazy things that were about to go down at the tabletop he blackmailed me into joining. Half of it felt like a strange and surreal dream. Now, if you were hoping for a full-on tabletop horror story, complete with try-hard players and scummy GMs, then you're kinda out of luck. There'll be parts that are sorta like that, but truth be told, a lot of smaller details are suppressed in my memory. Before I had started recounting this, all I wanted to do was just forget it. I mean, that makes sense. I'm extrapolating a lot of information from what I could remember. Rather than using logic and faking sickness, guess what I did? I went ahead and went to the Tabletop RPG, hosted by RB. I mean, let's be completely honest. Part of this is definitely because you know that he's crazy enough to actually push you into this. And the other part is, Ada, you have that same feeling that I do, which is sometimes we just gotta see the trash fire right up in front of us, don't we? Lord knows I do. I've done it several times. It's gotten me in some shit. Was it worth it? Oh yeah. Yeah, it was worth it. My God, what a mistake that was. The catalyst for the worst thing he's ever done. I parked my car at the curb and stepped out, locking the doors. Every fiber of my being was screaming, run away, don't go in, get your ass back in the car and drive away. Which, that would make sense, yes. I did the exact opposite. Walking up along the sidewalk, past the overgrown grass, to the door, I gave it a knock. Not a second later, the beard swung it open, and immediately I was hit by a putrid stench, like rotting beef and how water smells after sitting in an old power washer for too long. Ew. On top of this, there's an underlying musty and fishy smell. Oh my God. It was so bad that my face mask did hardly a thing to stop the odorous assault. I nearly puked then and there. Yeah, it sounds like you need one of those PPE protective, biohazard mask. Or like just a full-on filter thing. I actually need to get a new one of those. Don't ask why. Okay, you can ask why, I just won't tell you. The beard grabbed my arm, startling me a little as he began dragging me into the disgusting pigsty that was his home. I grabbed his hand and pried it off me. I guess grabbed his hand probably would have also worked too. Yeah, hi. Please don't touch me.
Oh, sorry. Also, he lowers his voice. I'm really sorry about the whole blackmail thing. I don't want to lose you. You're a good fit for the tabletop I've been working on for months.
Sure. He went into a diatribe against his own actions, and it felt rather sincere. Well, forgive me for not believing him. The beard seemed like he was owning up to his actions, that he wanted to put it all behind us and turn over a new leaf. My dumbass fell for the bait, and I loosened up a little. However, I was drawing my line in the sand and making it known. If RB crossed it, he was done. Last chance. If you do anything like that again, or call me your girlfriend, or in general be a creep towards me, I'm done, alright? Is that fucking clear?
Aye.
He nodded, giving me an enthusiastic salute before leading me in. How did I know he was going to do that? I know, I shouldn't have given another chance. I agree, looking back. The carpeted floor was covered in dirty laundry, discarded cans of Sprite, and empty bags of many a snack. Ew. In one corner stood a gigantic box TV. Ooh, old school. The thing looked at least a decade and a half to 2 decades old, and had a couple of tubes running out of the sloped back. I think it's called a rear projector television. That would be a CRT. Yeah. I should know. I had many. Hooked up to it on the floor was a console with a suspicious yellow stain on it. An Xbox, but I couldn't tell if it's a 360 or a 1. Leaned up against the wall, attached to it by some duct tape, and right next to a rather large hole, drywall dust on the floor, was a coffee table, 2 legs broken off. On top of the battered table is a massive collection, or rather horde, of anime figures. I recognized some of the characters, like one dude from Evangelion, a couple of Genshin Impact characters. Okay, I only know one of those things. Above us was an off-white popcorn ceiling. Oh god, the popcorn ceiling. Strange dark spots of varying size dotted the surface. I know exactly what that is. Yeah, a minor side note. If you ever see that, it means you have a leak. That discoloring, that's water. Check your roof. That's not good. Especially popcorn ceilings. They have a tendency to just fall. In the middle of the cesspool sat a large oval-shaped table, papers, and a game board, with a rather obvious fantasy theme instead of the promised sci-fi adventure, but I assumed it was some sort of placeholder. Little miniatures, also fantasy, a couple of open cans of soda. 3 others were already seated around it, presumably RB's friends. I silently sighed in relief that there were other people here. He hadn't lied about his friends, thank God. RB pulled out one of the 2 empty chairs for me to sit in, before taking a seat in the other. I just stood there, trying not to gag for a brief moment before sitting down. Putting my bag down in my lap, because there's no way in hell I'm putting my stuff on that filthy yellow carpet. Not to mention there's bound to be mice in this place. I'd rather not accidentally take home a new pet. Totally understandable. I quickly made sure that I had my stun gun. You know, I didn't read the word stun the first time I read that sentence, and I was just like, oh, things are about to get extra spicy. I was officially behind enemy lines, all alone. At least having one thing with me made me feel slightly better. Looking back, I could have just avoided all of this. I should have just left, noped out, pumped the brakes on all of this crap.
OP, these are my friends and your fellow party members for this campaign.
Confirming that my stun gun was there, I pulled out my water bottle, acting like that was what I had been searching for, and placed it on the table. Finally, I looked at the others seated around the table as RP introduced them. All 3 of them were varying shades of beard, judging by their appearances. I gave a nod, greeting to everyone. Hi, it's nice to meet you all. Stayed as formal as possible, more out of nervousness than politeness. Across the table, Isaac was eyeing me up and down like he was studying me, just plain creepy. Made my skin crawl.
Are you trans?
This is a new voice and I already don't like it. At this, RB began to look me up and down just like Isaac did. Why, are you?
No.
Well, I believe you've answered your own question there. I'm not trans, don't worry. I'm just naturally like this. I use that a lot when people ask me if I'm transgender. It tends to work on most situations. However, in this scenario, Isaac narrows his eyes, tilting his head. My discomfort and fear rose. Nobody was here with me. It was just myself, surrounded by a bunch of people I didn't know or feel safe around. I had a weapon, yeah, but it didn't change the fact that there were 4 of them and 1 of me.
Don't lie to me. Are you a...
Oh, God. There it is.
Are you a trap?
Wow, what an asshole.
A fib?
Allie stood up and grabbed Isaac's arm. Bro, stop it. So what if they are trans? It doesn't... I'm not going to use that sentence again. It doesn't make a difference. They're a friend, and that's it. I mean, I'm non-binary. You have a problem with that? Thank you, Allie. Thank goodness for Allie.
Well, in my humble opinion...
They're really laying it on with this, aren't they?
In my humble opinion, traps are cute. I do it. I don't care if it's gay.
Bro, shut the fuck up. RB leaned over, giving my shoulder a light punch as if trying to say, "Don't you agree?" I instinctively jolted away. He looked a little upset at this, and he should be. You don't just touch someone without their permission. Yes, thank you. Especially after making a comment like that. Yeah, abso-fucking-lutely. I was about ready to up and leave. I don't know why I didn't.
The traps are hot.
Oh, God. Can we please stop? Can we please fucking stop with this? God, it's like fucking 4chan in one room. So for those who don't know, I do, trap is a slang term used to describe a cisgendered passing pre-op transgendered woman, or a crossdresser. Why are we called traps, you may ask? Get ready for some real fucking misogynistic bullshit. Because people feel like the fact that we are still biologically male makes physical attraction gay, so they've been trapped into being gay. And if you honestly believe any of that, get out. Seriously, it's fucking stupid. The term was popularized by 4chan. Hey, didn't I fucking call it? Initially being used to describe characters like Astolfo from the Fate series. I don't know what that is, but I assume it's something to do with anime. In which case, fucking weebs.
We should begin the session proper. Does everyone have everything they need?
I honestly had no idea if I had everything. I had my character sheet, a pack of dice for the D&D 5e set that I got a few years back, but never touched because I couldn't find a group. Feel that. And a notebook. Was that all I was going to need? Everyone else nodded, taking their seats. I put my character sheet on the table. Getting started didn't sound like a half-bad idea. The sooner we got started, the sooner we could finish, and the sooner I could get out of there. So, you know how RB said that the tabletop was Ingress theme? That turned out to largely be a lie. Oh, I'm so surprised. Everyone else had fantasy characters. The campaign was set in a fantasy world. How did my modern-day character show up in this world? Portal, and not the Ingress kind of portal, just straight up portal that Megan Goodman was sucked into. She ended up smack dab in the middle of a field with amnesia. That's right, my character's entire backstory was mostly thrown out just so RB could shoehorn her into this campaign, clearly not meant for them. It's just the best fucking DM. How many times do you think he's going to use unconsciousness as a plot device, like a bad fucking movie? Luckily, she still had the ability I had picked out, meaning I could still attempt to cause as much chaos as I wanted with it. Though I didn't get much of an opportunity to use it in this session, there was no combat at all. So how did my character join the party? Simple, she was found asleep in the field. I fucking knew it! Helped to her feet with a comment about
finding a better place to nap than on the ground.
I just assume it was a Neckbeard who said it. And promptly adopted into this ragtag group of adventurers. Apparently this campaign had already been running for a while, but had become stale. RB had decided the best way to spice things up was to introduce a party member from another dimension. Why had he lied about the tabletop? Hell if I know. While I was a bit miffed, I soon got over it. Fish out of water scenario could be fun, right? Right? What followed was the most uncomfortable and awkward tabletop game I have ever played. Oh, here we go. RB constantly described my character as a, quote, a gift from the gods.
Sure, Jan.
And kept trying to put her on a figurative pedestal. I mean, the importance was sort of good for getting my character geared up for adventuring that the party was on, but it also just plainly felt creepy and like RB was trying to woo me by putting me in the spotlight. I'm scared of accidentally saying something wrong or doing something to upset someone else by accident. I'm completely exposed. Luckily, everyone in the party treated my character like a normal person, save for the whole strange clothes and amnesia thing. The only real special treatment was the impromptu shopping spree we went on, decking out Megan in a nice hooded cloak and arming them with a short sword. Since the homebrew class RB had made me choose at first no longer worked in this setting, he had us start a journey and find some special shrine that could
show her true potential.
What are they, like the fucking seeing stones? However, we had no idea where to even begin looking. Allie suggested we try the tavern and asked around to see if anyone knew anything useful. Isaac wanted to just forget about the shrine and move on with the bigger adventure. Jack was adamant on talking to the people in the church because they likely visited this shrine frequently to pray. Went with Allie's idea, but turned up nothing for a while. Isaac did manage to net some gold by winning a drinking contest with an NPC, though. At one point, RB got up and retrieved a Tupperware container full of SpaghettiOs from the fridge. I'm sorry, what? That's certainly something, I guess. He never said a word about it, just got up and left us all in awkward silence and just began to repeatedly reheat and stir the meal in the microwave for a few minutes. We all just kind of sat there. Should we just wait, talk amongst ourselves? Nobody spoke up. When he finally returned to the table, meal in hand, he apologized.
Most sincerest of apologies, I just got hungry. It's already dinner time anyways.
Oh, and you didn't offer anything to your guests. Rude. Just like at the date, the rotund beard ate messily. The mess-produced pasta sauce went from container to spoon to face to fingers to dice to miniatures to little spots on the table and board. Disgusting. What did he just, shove his whole face into the container? Fuck, dude. Day turned to night, and the party remained in the tavern. It was then we finally got the clue that we needed, and yet another attempt to push Megan further into the limelight. Yeah, I get it. She's a new party member that appeared by strange means, but you don't have to make her the fucking star of the show. We overheard some robed figures talking about how they couldn't stand the cult that they were in, how things were going too far, summoning gateways to other worlds and sealing deities away in those that are forcibly brought to this world. Everyone else put two and two together and realized Megan was one of those people with a deity sealed inside of them. Can't I just play a normal character with nothing divine or special about them? I was promised ingress, not this Isaki stuff. I don't even know if I said that right. The cultists mentioned visiting some prayer stone in the nearby forest, and off we went. There's some magical navigation thing, or spell, I don't remember. We managed to locate it. Time to figure out what class technician translates to. I put my hand on the stone, and Megan's a wizard. Then a voice spoke out to her. RB tried to do a deep and bellowing, godly voice, but honestly it sounded more like he had terrible indigestion.
You have done well to reawaken me. I shall lend you my power.
What is that voice? Oh, I know what that voice is. It's
Rise from your grave.
Rise from your grave.
I don't remember much of what happened next, just that RB offered to let me stay over the night, to which I replied no, before making a beeline for the door and leaving. Allie stopped me at my car, apologizing for Isaac. According to them, he was just stuck in his ways and had an extremely conservative family. Sounds a bit like an incel, but okay. He's trying to be more open-minded, though. It's fine, I'm used to it. I hopped to my car as I nodded, thanking them for de-escalating the situation back there. Section 2. Respite and sunlight. Ooh. A little less than a week had passed, and Thanksgiving was coming that Thursday. My family was going out of town, and I'd have the house to myself. I know, made no sense with COVID, but my family insisted that they were going to stay at a hotel and mask up and that it would be fine. I kind of wanted to go with them to see my extended family, but ever since I came out as trans, they just kind of pretended I no longer existed when it came to family affairs such as this. Ow. That's fuck, dude. I'm sorry. I kind of wonder what they say when people ask where I was. I was sad, yeah, but I still had Taz's family, and they welcomed me with open arms, no matter my gender or orientation. As long as I wasn't doing drugs or getting involved with crime, I was cool with them. Honestly, bless them all. Yeah, they sound pretty fucking cool. Tuesday night, I was chatting it up with Scissors about Fire Emblem, and about how I was enjoying the 3 houses as I made dinner and a cup of tea. Eventually, we just started singing the main theme, The Edge of Dawn, myself butchering the lyrics as usual. I never usually got the opportunity to sing outside of my room. Whenever family was home, my younger brother would always get upset and start yelling at me to stop. No one was safe from his strict sound policing. Not even my sister, who honestly had the vocal range to make a potential career out of singing. She's going into the theater arts, though, so who knows? I forgot I mentioned this sound policing thing in Chapter 3, but I'm just going to leave it here because why not? I'm glad that you did, because I also forgot. My phone buzzed on the countertop. I moved to check whatever notification I received. Now here's a fun multiple choice question. Was the notification for A, a new RedX video just dropped, B, my family is texting me, C, ResistBeard is messaging me, D, my work is sending me a happy Thanksgiving email, or E, you didn't even mention your friend Moonhorse, how dare you? I'm kidding. If you guessed C, I kind of figured it was going to be C, you'd be right. It was RB messaging me about the next tabletop event tomorrow night. My reply was just, yay, time to see what happens next. I sighed in frustration. Was I sort of excited? If only to see where the story went. Not at all about going back to that dirty nest with its all-encompassing miasma of stale coom. He's the coom! Smelly water and shattered aspirations. What a way with words you have. Not to mention that feeling of danger I have just being there. Like things could go horribly at any second. RB did seem like he was trying to at least better himself somewhat. Or that's what I thought, at least. Scissors and I eventually hopped into a voice call. I set my laptop on the island in the middle of the kitchen. Our conversation soon turned to the topics of Fodlan's Knights, I have no idea how to pronounce that, storing soup in their helmets. The inside joke was started about Knights doing exactly that on a recent Fire Emblem Friday stream, actually had us seriously debating on whether or not it was actually feasible to store soup and bread in a secret compartment of a helmet for a little battlefield snack to keep them going. The next day I woke to a text from my boss telling me that nearly everyone had the day off. The screen printer machine had broken down. One of the pneumatic tubes that moved the pallets had a hole in it. I spent the day at the same park Mars and I had played Ingress with RB at. It was surprisingly nice. Perfect hoodie weather. I wish it was. It's so hot here. There's a nice spot that overlooks the nearby city just across the river. I sat on a bench for hours, earbuds in, listening to music, just staring at the town I lived so close to, yet barely knew. My eyes wandered the skyline, gazing, going over the many buildings, coming to a stop at a huge ballpark. I think it was the ballpark at least. Could have been a football stadium. I don't know. Hardly keep up with sports. Anyways, I'll quit my rambling. Nothing all too offensive happened in this chapter. Honestly, the first session seemed like RB was trying to get back on my good side. My empathetic and forgiving self just easily fell for it, as annoyed and suspicious of him as I was. The next chapter will be Session 2, as well as Thanksgiving, and the disaster that unfolded during the last Fire Emblem Friday. Scissors and I literally quit the tradition thanks to RB, and all I can really say is sometimes you lose. Dizzy out. Remember, don't pineapple your portals, but do eat a pineapple, fruits are good for you. Well, it has been a bit, but I am really, really glad to see that you're back. I enjoy your stories. I actually think you're a really good writer. And this was one hell of a tale. I cannot get over some... Well, okay. You know what? I was going to say that I'm surprised by some of RB's terrible friends, but come on. I got to be honest with myself. I've read enough stories about these people, and I know enough about this whole thing, you know what I'm saying, to know that, yeah, birds of a feather tend to stick together, especially when they're weird coomers like this guy. So... yeah, it doesn't necessarily surprise me that he's this awful, but okay, yeah, that's a thing. But yes, I am honestly glad you're back. I am very happy to hear more stories from you, and I understand sometimes you get a little distracted and you can't really work on the stuff that you want to. It happens, no big deal. So, I look forward to the next part whenever you're ready to share it with us all. And honestly, ignoring me like that just straight out the gate, for shame. I can't even say that with a straight face. I'm clearly fucking with you. I enjoy your stuff, and I hope you all enjoyed it too. And if you did, make sure you do the whole YouTube thing, you know. Like, comment, subscribe. Mainly because YouTube is not a fan of your favorite space uncle. So fuck with them and do it anyway. I think it's really funny. If you want to support this channel, and I certainly hope you do, we have a Ko-Fi, which is like Patreon, but actually better. I mean, that's not even a joke. It started as a joke, but it just actually is. I just really like it better. Yep. And I have a merch store, which is almost like donating, except you get things for it. So it's not like donating in any way, shape, or form. Also, there are live streams every weekend. Well, every Friday to Monday, including when I'm recording this. On Mondays, we record these videos live in front of a wonderful audience. I would say studio audience, but we don't have a studio. Technically, I do, but they're not here. But it is a stream, and there is a chat. You can't see them, though. This is a video. I'm serious. Quit staring at the screen like that. It's going to hurt your eyes. And if you have your own story to send me, send it to r/Moonhorse Stories. That's my subreddit. I own it. It'd be weird if somebody else did. But I have it now. Now. Like I took it from someone. I don't know where this ending is going. It's going places, but I don't like it. I'm going to stop it now. So, thanks for being here, and I'll see you in the next episode. Goodbye, everybody.